This is Jason from Astralborne, and I'm here to bring you my favorite zombie-themed metal videos. So fire up your fucking chainsaws, because we're about to enter the Undead Zone. Welcome, my children of the night, to this Savonin celebration. I am your host, Jason Cessna from Astralborne. It's Halloween, and you know we like to get spooky around here, so crack open your pumpkin spice, fucking whatever, and join me as we discuss two important things: zombies and metal. Are you with me so far? The zombie. Everybody's favorite brain-eating ghoul, right? Without remorse, driven by hunger, undead, and damn near unstoppable. But there's just something about zombies that pairs really well with metal. I mean, some bands have based their entire careers around it. Which brings me to my first music video of the night. That's right, kiddies. We're kicking things off with Cannibal Corpse, Kill or Become.
Unleashed upon the earth, millions of infected dead soon rise, stalking the living to feast upon the flesh. It's fight or flee to survive. Living of the dissonance and absolute fear. Now and I wait when the threat of the undead draws near. Thoughts of those left behind are slowly tormenting your mind. To survive, the world you once knew forever changed. Scavenging just to stay alive. Time to release your inner rage.
great way to start this shit show, huh? Cannibal bringing the brutality straight out of the gate. I'm feeling it, dude. I'm feeling spooky. I'm drinking beer. What about you guys? Huh? Let's keep things moving here. Up next is Gruesome with their Buzzsaw Blaster, Dimensions of Horror, right here on the Undead Zone. Welcome back, freaks and fucks. We are just starting to sink our fangs into this blood-soaked extravaganza. What's next? Let's get one of the homies on the phone, huh?
Welcome to recording.
Ladies and germs, it's one of my favorite people on this planet, Paulie Fuzinski, 1/3 of Astralborne and 1/8 of the talent. How the hell you doing, buddy?
I'm drunk.
Happy Halloween.
Happy Halloween.
Oh, look at that.
Got that voodoo spooky boy up in here.
Ooh, I'm scared. Hey, man, what are you doing for Halloween this year? You getting anything cool?
Yeah, I'm just sitting here talking to you.
Well, let's try to have some fun. What do you think?
I'm down for fun all the time, brother.
So check this out. There's a lot of urban legends about Paul Fuzinski on the internet. I don't know if you knew this.
That's true.
So I want to play a little fact or fiction. What do you say?
Okay. Let's play it.
Fact or fiction. Your real name is Polynesian Fuzinfidelski.
Fact. Next. Okay. Easy. That's an easy one.
Paul, you're an accomplished adventurer, filmmaker, mountaineer, occultist, and performer of ceremonial magic. Would you say that's accurate?
Yeah, that's pretty true. I'd say.
Fact or fiction, your first band went by the name Dissection.
Yeah, that is very true. We didn't even know there was another band called Dissection, and we got like death threats on the internet. It was pretty cool. Those people are hardcore. I was like 15, so thanks to everybody that wanted to kill me when I was a teenager. Appreciate it. It's really cool. You guys are great people, I'm sure.
Was that DIE-section?
There was no hyphen, but it was like I was 15, so come on. Cut me some slack here.
I was in a band called Pestilence. I didn't know that was a band. And it was spelled fucking wrong. Like Pestilence. I made a logo for it. It was spelled wrong.
So if you ever see any other bands called Astralborne and then they're like 12, I mean, obviously give them death threats. I mean, that's like this. That's all you can do.
That's what you should do, right?
Yeah, obviously. That's the way to go about it.
You once tweeted, "Halloween is just emo Christmas."
I'm never on Twitter, but that does sound like something I would say. So I'll just say true.
Okay. Fact. I'll mark that as fact. It sounds like something you'd say.
I would definitely say that.
I'm pretty sure I've heard you say it like in person. So that's got to count for something. Paul, fact or fiction, you have a bachelor's degree in anthropology.
That's a fact. That one's actually a real fact. I do have a bachelor's degree in anthropology.
Does that by definition make you an anthropologist?
I don't think so. I think it makes me a nerd.
Well, just being in this band with me makes you a nerd. You didn't need to go to school for that.
Yeah, that's a fact also. That's a fact. That's the biggest fact of the night, I would say.
Fact or fiction? As a Michigan native, instead of pumpkins on Halloween, you would actually carve scary faces into 3-liter bottles of Faygo.
Only when we listen to ICP, so yes, that's a fact.
Was it Faygo or Werner's? I knew it was one of them.
It was like the red Faygo.
Oh, it was just called Red Pop.
That one is not a fact. They got a lot of good things in Michigan, but Faygo can just eat my whole ass. I don't give a shit about Faygo.
All right, so Paul, we've been talking tonight about zombies. One of my favorite topics. I know you're somewhat of a hunter. You're an outdoorsman. You're into hunting. Are you aware of these zombie deer sightings in Ohio?
Yeah.
What can you tell me about that? Last I checked, there was like 13 counties and counting of reported zombie deer cases. What the fuck's going on in Ohio with the zombie deer?
Well, I think if I remember correctly, it has something to do with chronic wasting disease, which is like fucking deer up and it's making them like not safe to eat. So it's like a big problem. But that's about all I know. But if you do see a zombie deer, you should probably call the DNR and have them come and shoot it. Because like it's a slippery slope with zombies, man.
Yeah, you want to kill them. You don't want it to
Somebody
spread.
eats a deer that's a zombie, and then people become zombies even more than they already are, and then we're just super fucked, and then we gotta like, I don't know. You've seen the movies, you know what happens. It's not a good trajectory.
They're seen staring off into the distance, unfazed by sirens, shouting, blood coming out of their eyes, and typically die within 36 hours, according to my notes. That sounds terrible.
Sounds like a lot of the people I know, honestly.
Yeah. It sounds like us after doing one of these pumpkin beer reviews.
No, it sounds like Derek after doing one of these pumpkin beer videos. He's the only one. We're always fine. He's like projectile vomiting in outer space.
Yeah.
He might be a zombie. I don't know.
He might have this epizootic hemorrhagic disease they're talking about. What else, man? What else you got going on this Halloween? Anything else?
Drinking beers. Hoping to see like a Bigfoot, like a dog man, some spooky shit on Halloween because, you know, I'm a Bigfoot fanatic, man. I love the Bigfoot. It's like my favorite spooky thing.
I really hope you get your wish to see a Bigfoot someday because I know you do love him very much.
Do you remember we did that video where we jammed that I was Bigfoot on the bass? That was sweet. That was a Halloween video we did. That was sweet. Bring it back. Pull it up. Pull that thing up.
Roll the clip.
Roll that clip.
Roll that beautiful bean footage.
All right, here goes.
All right, who's ready for more high-octane zombie gore? You want to watch this next zombie metal video with me?
Yes.
Bloodbath is coming up next to eat your ass. It's Zombie Inferno on the Undead Zone. I already know what some of you guys are going to say. Jason, why didn't you play my favorite music video from whatever fucking band? Autopsy or some shit. Listen, you dumb motherfuckers. I'm playing my favorite zombie-themed metal videos, okay? Not yours. I don't give a fuck what you want to watch. I don't give a fuck. There's 1,000 things you could be watching right now instead of this. Don't complain to me. Do you really want to see a 6 Feet Under video? No. I wouldn't do that to you guys.
They can take you off the air for that kind of shit.
Exactly, thank you. Moltar, everybody. Our next clip of brain-sucking excitement comes from none other than Tampa's Death Metal Legion. This is Obituary with 10,000 Ways to Die on the Undead Zone. Crank it up, bitch! Okay, guys. All right, let's open up the phone lines of fright once again.
Is that okay for the camera?
Hey, look who it is, you guys. My partner in crime and Astralborne's resident riff master, Derek fucking Smith.
What's going on?
What's up, brother? Happy Halloween, man.
Here's motherfuckers.
How the hell you doing?
I'm doing very well. What about yourself?
I'm just out here drinking beer, staying spooky, you know?
You feeling festive or what?
Yeah, you know, I'm feeling it. I got the pumpkin beers. I know that's kind of that might spook you a little. What about you? What are you guys getting into this year for Halloween? You do anything cool?
Oh, Lisa's decorating the house, so Halloween's full tilt over this way. She's building a 12-foot scarecrow for the yard.
Holy shit.
I try to help and she's like, no. So I just stay away.
It's the season of the witch, right? My wife's in the same spirit. I gotta let her do her thing. Get all this shit down from the attic. I'm just like, yes, mistress.
Yeah.
So, dude, we've been jamming together for fucking 20 years now, right?
Oh my God, don't
Two
say
fucking decades. We haven't always spent most of our Halloweens together, but there have been a couple, and there are a few memorable ones that come to mind. The earliest being, do you remember when we learned the Halloween theme, the John Carpenter movie?
That was in my notes. I was going to bring that up.
Remember that? We jammed that in my garage at my grandma's old house?
Yeah.
On Halloween night?
The garage slowly opened and the fucking smog was coming out. People dug it. They came out and watched.
They were like, hell yeah. But we could only play that riff for so long until we're like,
I don't know what else to do. But we only learned one part.
One riff. Then we tried to play some originals and people were like, we're clearing out.
No.
I ain't got time for this.
We played Paragon of Miss.
Hey, that's right. We played Paragon of Miss. The first song we ever wrote together. That's how far back that song goes.
What year you think that was?
2002 or 2003-ish.
Wow.
For sure. I was going through some photos of like Halloween costumes. I know you said you were a clown the first few years of your youth.
Yup.
But what would you say is the worst costume you ever wore overall?
I mean, looks wise, the clown, but I had like this, almost looked like Baraka, and it was the thickest ply of rubber, like over your face with like one fucking nostril to breathe out of. And I remember it was just moisture, just very moist for like the 2 hours that you trick or treat, and trying to breathe through that, like trick or treat.
Just totally uncomfortable.
Yes.
Do you remember that we did a Halloween house show once at one of my ex-girlfriend's places? Do you remember this? And I dressed like Winnie the Pooh.
Yes.
Okay, so I had a Winnie the Pooh costume, full fucking onesie. Talk about uncomfortable, man. Drumming in that shit, that was the worst idea I've ever fucking had.
I remember you hit the sauce pretty hard that night too.
I did, yes. I was drinking, I had to evoke the Halloween spirits, man. It's a tradition. Come on. What else? What about growing up? Any cool like decorations you remember that like you did special in your family?
My dad did these things he called ghost bags. Honestly, I just think it was an excuse for me to rake the yard, but he would have me fill these white trash bags with leaves and then tie them off. They just look like full garbage bags. And then we would take black paint and like put these crazy faces on them, and he would put them all over the yard. I mean, they were hillbilly like yard decorations pretty much, but you wouldn't just paint like normal with like you would splatter it, like really get into it. I remember him being so excited when you'd hit the perfect, like eye, it would just like scrape across the bag. I don't know. It was just cool. It was something I remember doing as a kid.
No, that is cool. I think we just bought the pumpkin ones, like they're orange, but they already have faces on them,
See, somebody cashed in on that because I remember him saying we can make money. Like, you're late to the game.
You fucked up, man. You had your chance and you blew it.
I saw Gremlins for the first time.
What, this year?
Yes.
What did you think of it? Did you think it was like cool, or did you think it was like for kids?
I think for the time, it was probably pretty fucking awesome. I bet everybody was chatting about that one.
I loved that when I was growing up. You just fucking saw that for the first time. That's crazy.
Yes, sir.
If you didn't know already, Astralborne's debut album, Eternity's End is out now on Prosthetic Records. Check us out at Astralborne Band, Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. Derek, you want to watch this next zombie metal video with me?
Let's do it, brother.
Up next is Hammerfall, which seems kind of random, but they actually have a pretty cool music video about zombies. Check it out. It's called One More Time, and it's right here on the Undead Zone, people. Fucking crank it up! Hey! It's just me! It's just me. Spooked you. It's Jason from Astralborne right here on the Undead Zone. Moltar, do we not have an Astralborne music video on this countdown?
Well, no.
That's stupid. Why are we doing this again?
What do you mean?
Okay, this next one isn't technically zombie. It's probably more like cannibalistic, if anything. But I love this band. I love everything they put out. This is a former Prosthetic Records alumni here. It's Ex Mortis with Feast of Flesh. Roll the clip, Moltar!
Say your blood I smell. My hunger calls, your spirits fall. Now I'm going for the kill. Now see the soil soaked in red, the broken bodies lying dead. So grace my ire, strike not the fire, rather eat it raw instead. But to me, engagement primal lust, savagery, that ritual unjust, maim and moan. Not the cries of pain, devour, and feeds on that remain. Feast of flesh, nurtured carcass, prepare the feast of flesh. What are you craving? Feast of flesh. Garnets and death and all the feast of flesh. In proper bathing, raise up your cowards once you dwell. There is a story I must tell, not etched in stone, but from the bone. Tonight we all died in hell. We relish living for the thrill, from all the fear that we instill. Fire up the forge, try to engorge, never cease to have our fill. But to me, engage on primal lust, savagery, that ritual unjust. Maim and moan, heed not the cries of pain. Devour, and feeds on not remain. Feast of flesh, nurtured carcass, prepare the feast of flesh. What are you craving? Feast of flesh. Garnets and death and all the feast of flesh. In proper bathing.
What's up, creeps? We're still chugging along on this zombie train to Zombieville. Joining us now is the very talented Richard Clark, guitarist and songwriter of Michigan's own Among These Ashes. Richard, how the fuck you doing, man? Happy Halloween.
I'm fucking great. How the fuck are you? Happy Halloween.
I'm doing good, man. What are you getting into this Halloween? Anything cool?
Halloween is like a very important time of year for me. So I mean, every year it's centered around horror movies, you know, and just the overall atmosphere of Halloween. And then, you know, of course, metal is very relevant.
You being in Among These Ashes, let me know if I have this correct. Among These Ashes, that is kind of your first real big stab into a full-fledged metal band. Is that right?
Yeah, that is correct. I mean, I did it when I first started playing music, I got into a metal band, but we never ended up making it far enough or lasting long enough to do it. And then I just kind of like played around with other projects and stuff like that. But this has been the most successful and the most far-reaching project that I've had.
Speaking of Halloween, which metal band as a whole, in your opinion, is the ultimate representation of Halloween?
I'm going to go with King Diamond. Feel like I have to, but can I talk about some other ones that I might pick? Absolutely.
Any honorable mentions, of course. Yeah.
I think you got to throw Cradle of Filth in there for sure.
Yeah.
I mean, like, especially some of the earlier stuff. And then obviously Merciful Fate would be a good one.
What else do you have going on right now with the band, with Among These Ashes? Anything you want to plug for the good people of the internet while I got you?
Yeah. I mean, we've kind of been a little bit quiet, but just because I've been focusing on tracking, we're going to have a couple of releases come out in 23. We're going to do a original tune and, working on that right now. And I'm not sure exactly when I'm going to put it out, but it's going to have some promotional content to come with it, like a lyric video. And we're also doing a Sabotage cover. So I don't know if you're a big fan of them at all, but we're going to like seriously metalize an ATA style one of their songs. I don't want to say which one it is yet.
Can't divulge.
Most of the idea with promoting metal is the hype machine, right? Build it up, like people when they get it, they're like, oh.
Well, music in general nowadays is, I think I probably told this to you in past conversations, but I feel like it's like fast food. You consume it and you shit it out and you move on to the next. And that really only holds people's attention for such a short shelf life that you really got to harness them in.
100% accurate. I don't think it's the music, because the music, I mean, at least everything that I listen to, especially this beast, is highly memorable stuff, and I feel like that's what's out there. And it's more our social media algorithms that, things get lost in a sea of that, and people just seem to be conditioned to forget about things quickly.
Check out Among These Ashes on social media at Among These Ashes on Facebook and Among These Ashes _official on Instagram. As I mentioned, their debut, Dominion Enthroned, is out now on Alone Records, is it?
That's correct.
Give it a spin and tell them Count Cessna sent you. All right, ghoulies. Our next video in this countdown of carnage is the mighty Creator with 666 World Divided.
I will not believe holy lies. If They keep us divided. Bring back the fire inside. The brothers and flames. When we are united. On the six, burning in the sky. A world divided. We are united. On the six, burning in the sky.
You ain't hardcore Halloween like me, bitch. Welcome back, my devoted disciples of the dead. Thank you for sticking around. I hope you're having fun. I hope you're having a good fucking Halloween. My next guest is an old friend of mine, Jim Albrecht, bassist of CENTENARY and just overall awesome dude. Jim, how the hell have you been, man?
Pretty fucking good, man. Good to see you. It's been like a while. I mean,
It has
we
been a
go back-
while?
we go back quite a ways, but I mean, it's definitely been a minute.
It has been a minute. We do go way back, right? We've shared the stage more times than I can count. We've even jammed together in one of our old bands, A Gruesome Find.
Yes, that was a fun time.
It was, man. It was.
too short-lived, but it was fun. Yeah.
Jim, knowing you, there's no one better that I'd rather discuss this next topic with. In your humble opinion, what is the greatest zombie movie of all time?
Ooh, man. It's really kind of tough because it's like, you have to obviously give credit to, the OG Night of the Living Dead, because that was pretty much, the zombies up until that point, it was a totally different, it was more like a voodoo thing, and it was way different. And
Right.
they didn't even use the word zombie in the original Night of the Living Dead. That like came later, but that was like the blueprint for everything. But it's like, it still is probably like, close to like the greatest. It's hard because there've been some really good examples. Even Romero himself. Day of the Dead was great. Dawn of the Dead was great. Even like Return of the Living Dead, which was that was kind of a parody of zombie films, but being that, it ended up becoming one of the greatest zombie films. That's one of my favorites, just because it's got that camp to go along with it, and it's just kind of it's like the perfect marriage of the camp and like the horror. So I like that one, and got really burned out on zombies for a while, but in the last 10 years though, we've had like Train to Busan from Korea. That's probably the best zombie movie I've seen in since Romero, easily.
Yeah, I'm hard pressed to agree with you there. That was definitely hands down a really good zombie flick.
Yeah, it really was. It was like, it had like one of the saddest endings, I think.
Dude, right? I was just gonna say that ending had me in tears, literally.
I've seen it a few times now, and it's like zombies have been, that's one of the most played out subgenres of horror, probably, in recent time. And it's like, to have something like that come along that just like stands out like it does, it's like, that's that. And I think the other one, and again, another foreign film, One Cut of the Dead. I don't know if you've seen that one, but
I have not.
That's probably the only one besides Train to Busan that, in recent years, that I think really is like right up there with all the other classic zombie movies.
So when you talk about foreign films, or really just another culture's take on zombie, obviously you mentioned Korea, you mentioned Romero. When you put those up against each other, Romero, the Fulci ones, the Korean stuff, what do you think? Who do you think does it best? Which country has it on lock, the zombie genre? Who do you think?
I don't know, man. It's like because there's elements of the different ones that like all work really well. So it's like, it's kind of like, it'd be kind of cool if like somebody could take like the best parts of all three and like mix them together somehow or something. Because there's, it's like there's things about the Fulci zombies that were great. I love the Fulci movies, man, but that's like a total, I don't know. It's like he really brought out the gore factor and everything, where it's like, even like Romero himself didn't really like go too deep into the gore until, Dawn of the Dead. And that was already like when, Fulci and those guys had started bringing the gore.
Right.
Well, it's like, even with like Romero's Dead films, everybody has their pick for like what they think is the best one. And it's like, I mean, with like the first three, it's like, I mean, the rest can, those were all, I mean, Land of the Dead was the last really good one. And then the last couple were, they were just kind of there.
Yeah.
So it was like, and they weren't terrible, but they weren't, they weren't as, iconic or as memorable as like, the ones that he did before. So it's like, even just judging like the first three, it's like, I mean, there's really no wrong answer.
No, you're right.
Between the three, it's probably between Dawn and Day for me. And it always changes because, some days I think Day of the Dead is my favorite one. I mean, like, I've been, rewatching all these movies like I do every Halloween. And it's like,
what is your thoughts on the Zack Snyder stuff?
I like the Dawn of the Dead remake. I mean, the newer ones, they're just, they're entertaining. I guess if that's the kind of, on some level, I guess, but they didn't really do anything. I did like his remake of Dawn of the Dead, though. Why
don't you go ahead and take this time to tell the good people of the internet what you got going on right now with Centenary? Anything you want to plug?
Well, I mean, nothing we really want to like plug per se. I mean, we're currently like, and we've been kind of laying low, with shows. I mean, we are like, I think we're taking a trip to Buffalo in December, but right now we're in the middle of like writing our next album. I believe the title it's a playoff of the old Entombed record, but it's like a No Resting in Festering Slime. That's the name of the next record. So it'll be out on CDN again, after we get it recorded. So no timeline on that right now. We're just, we're about halfway through the songwriting, I guess. And
hell just, yeah.
Going from there, more chainsaw.
You heard it here first, guys. New Centenary in the works. Centenary's album, Death, the Final Frontier, is out now on CDN Records with some lovely album art by our hero, Juanjo Castellano. Check them out on Facebook at Detroit Chainsaw Metal and on Instagram at Centenary_official. Next up is Municipal Waste with their epic animated video for Grave Dive. I'm in the middle of the zombie thing. Yeah. Yeah, we're live. Right now, dude. Yeah, I'm just winging it. Right now, dude. Yeah. Yeah, okay. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Fucking hell. You know, we did all these pumpkin beer reviews, me and the Astro Boys, like the last, 3 years in a row. We really started to hate on them towards the end. We got kind of burned out. All that cinnamon and nutmeg, like just fucking shoved down our throats and up our asses. I don't know, it really put a bad taste in our mouths and in our asses by the end. What do you guys think of this beer?
This sucks. This fucking sucks.
I don't like it. This beer sucks.
That sucks.
No offense. You suck.
That's really bad. Fuck these pumpkin beers, man. I'm done.
But, I don't know, man. I'm kind of digging the pumpkin beers tonight. This is going down pretty smooth. I guess you could say that my passion for pumpkin has been returned from the dead, not unlike the music videos in tonight's countdown. So with that said, here's Cataclysm getting spooky with their video for Elevate. Welcome back, friends. I am Jason Cessna of Astralborne, and I am your Crypt Keeper tonight as we blast our way through the zombie hordes of metal. I feel like Elton John in these glasses.
Fucking zombies, man.
My next guest is the dreadful Dan Cooley, vocalist of FORETOKEN, one of my favorite bands and label mates on Prosthetic Records. Dan, how the hell you doing, man?
I'm doing fucking great. How are you, man?
I'm doing great. It's good to see you. Happy Halloween.
Happy Halloween.
How you feeling? You feeling spooky this year? Do anything cool for Halloween? What are you guys getting into?
So I'm living in Philly right now. So there's going to be a lot of cool stuff going on in Philly. So I'm excited to check out some of the things going on. So that's going to be exciting.
Hell yeah, Philly. I hear it's always sunny there. Is that true?
It actually is really sunny all the time.
I love it. Well, Dan, we've been talking about two things tonight: zombies and metal. Here's what I want to first talk about. I know, based on just kind of reading your lyrics, I would take you as somewhat of a historian, or at least a history buff. Are you familiar with the origins of the zombie?
Yeah, it comes from the Caribbean, right?
I believe so. Yeah, Haiti, right?
Yeah.
What's your thoughts on that? Do you think there's some truth to, like, is it real? Is it just folklore?
I think with anything, and like FORETOKEN is all about mythology and history to some extent. A lot of things start with a kind of a kernel of truth, and then they become exasperated over time. So I think that zombieism was probably having to do with somebody being put into like a catatonic state, or a trance, and then maybe they became aggressive, and who knows what happens to there, because there's embellishment over time. But that's probably what happened, was that it was probably about 10% of what we think is, a zombie today. So it wasn't probably nearly as scary, but it was enough for people to continue to talk about it. And then now we get all sorts of different types of zombies. We get, Romero zombies, slow moving zombies. We get 28 days later, fast moving zombies. We get all sorts of stuff. Actually, 28 days later technically aren't even zombies because they're not dead yet.
We got zombie dogs, zombie sheep, zombie chickens.
Yeah.
The zombie knows no bounds, right?
Mm-hmm.
Well, when I first got into zombies as a genre, it wasn't through movies or music or TV. It was through video games. And it all started back in 1996. I was 11 years old, and I played a little game on the PlayStation 1 called Resident Evil. You might remember
Nice.
it. After that, everything changed for me. What sort of impact has zombie games, or I guess horror games in general, made on you?
So with zombies in games, I guess like the first game that I got exposure to with zombies was also Resident Evil as well, right? I just got my PlayStation, and that was the game to get. And then it was just really awesome. I don't think that there at the time was anything close to being, like it. And what's really cool about it, it was one of the first like survival horror games. So it kind of like, it took the idea of, you are not a, Arnold Schwarzenegger action hero able to just like muscle your way out of a problem. You have to be strategic in terms of how you're dealing with the problem. Limited ammunition, numbers will kill you, because that's the thing about zombies, right? Is that eventually those numbers will get you. So you have to be cognizant of that, and you don't want to get overrun, or you don't want to get stuck in a corner, or you always got to be prepared. So it's like Boy Scouts, but like expert level, I guess, if you could put it that way.
Right. Has it had any effect on you musically?
Not really, but that's only because I haven't gotten to subject matter that like lends itself to being, involved with zombies. We haven't focused on anything yet, but if we were to, then absolutely, I'd be like digging into the history and trying to, borrow as much as I can. In a lot of the stories that FORETOKEN does, it's either a direct retelling or it's a modernization of one of those stories. I'm not going to go too far into that because it's not zombie related, but that would be the approach that we do.
Sure. Back to video games, though. What would you say is the scariest video game that you have played? Not necessarily just zombie,
Silent Hill. I mean, that was way scarier than
Right.
Resident Evil. Because in Resident Evil, you've got guns and you're at the very minimum like able to fight your way out of a situation if you're put into a bad one. Silent Hill, you are handicapped. You are just running for your life.
Terrifying.
Yeah.
Did you ever play on the PS1 a game called Clock Tower?
Oh yeah. That's like in that same space. Yeah.
That was the one for me. Totally terrifying as a young kid. Like that was, they don't make them like that anymore. I know we keep talking about PS1, but obviously the genre's transcended. Dying Light, Last of Us, arguably.
I played Last of Us 1, and I liked how it took a lot of those like zombie elements into the equation, where it was like a very much a survival horror game. And ultimately, what was really interesting was in that game, it wasn't just the zombies, if you call them zombies, right? The fungi things. It wasn't them being the enemy. Yeah, it was the humans who were just also pieces of shit. Which is like, you can overhear them being like, we got to fucking kill this girl over here. And you're like, Jesus Christ, I'm that little girl. It's like, I don't want to fucking get murdered instead. Right. And then they had like really like graphic scenes where it's just like, hey, we found him. And then it's just like just stabbing. And you're like, Jesus Christ.
Yeah, for sure. The first Last of Us, hands down, one of my favorite games. That's an A+ game. And I do want to talk about what FORETOKEN has been up to. It's late October. Is there anything you can tell us about the new FORETOKEN album?
I can share some details, which is it has been written, it has been mixed, it has been mastered. We're going to start to say more about it in December, and you'll hear even more about it come the beginning of next year. So look towards beginning of next year for some more concrete stuff.
FORETOKEN's debut album, Ruin, is out right now on Prosthetic Records. Check them out on social media at FORETOKEN Metal. Coming up next, we have a very spooky video from Karak Angren. This is Charles Francis Coughlin. Roll the clip, Moltar!
All right, let's see.
Darkness comes forward, thick clouds from the north. A serene cemetery atmosphere transforms into one of melancholy nightmares. The rats remaining seem sheltered and huddled together, shedding tears for the dead. Amidst the silence we run and storm, the beginning of this peculiar tale is born. Rapid by infernal wind, hail and rain, a storm surge generated by a deadly hurricane. God gives
once again, Freakazoids, and hello from the gutter. We're back with more brain-munching madness right here on the Undead Zone. Who wrote this script? It's horrible. Oh, it was me. Joining us next is Joe Cady, guitarist and songwriter of Finality, a phenomenal band out of Michigan featuring members of Battlecrossed and Cursed Eternity. Joe, how the fuck are you doing, man? It's good to see you.
Good to see you too, man. I'm doing all right, man. Just, trying to get through the post-pandemic world right now.
Likewise, man. It's rough. Well, happy Halloween, man. It's good to see your face.
Yeah, dude. Hell yeah.
You doing anything cool for Halloween this year? What are you guys getting into?
Nothing planned as of yet. Last year we had those shows with Battlecross, which kind of took up everything. Huron has a bunch of shows with his other band, so that's probably all I'll do is go to a couple of those and just fucking kick back and try to watch some movies. That's about it.
That sounds good, man.
Maybe finish the record.
Oh, well, in an ideal world, right?
Right.
I've asked my bandmates this in the past, but I'm curious to hear your take on this.
All right.
What would be your weapon of choice during the zombie apocalypse?
Shit. Good question. I would have to say something with some reach. So probably, not to be cliche, since I probably thought of it before the whole Walking Dead thing, with the nail bat or something along those lines where I have some sort of blade on one end. I can use the bludgeoning on the other end. Unfortunately, the old fire axes would be great if you can get a hold of those.
Yes, it would. Well, let's say you could pick one melee and one long range. Let's start with melee. Like you said, you got bludgeon, you got edge weapons. Which way are you going with that?
I'd say if I could find an old fire axe. So I got a pick end on one end, and I got the sharp end on the other end, and a lot of weight behind it.
Nice and reliable.
Exactly.
Stable, durable.
Ain't going to break in half if you hit a few things with it.
I like it.
Or miss a few things, which is probably what I'll end up doing, getting eaten.
We're all as good as dead anyway, if that really happens. But
right, we already saw with this pandemic.
All right, what about ranged weapons? Obviously, we got our semi-automatics, we got crossbows. What are you going with?
I mean, if I'm doing ranged and I have access to ammo, then it's definitely just going to have to be either an AR or something like that I can reach out long range with, and I can also move around with. However, as you know, ammo will probably be a currency. That would lead you back towards your bow and arrows or crossbows, whatever you can do that you can make your ammo for. So
the crossbow has to be, I stopped watching The Walking Dead a long time ago, but Daryl Dixon survived with that for like 11 seasons, right?
Yeah.
That's got to speak for itself.
Yep. Shit, it makes sense. Again, you got a reusable, ammo source, and you've got portability. They aren't too heavy. The only thing hard is just reloading. So As long as you got the strength to reload that sumbitch all the time, then you're good. But that's when the axe comes in handy.
What do you think's the worst weapon for fighting off zombie hordes?
Other humans. They're just gonna fuck you over.
Forget it.
Yep, fuck that. I'm going out on my own. I'm gonna continue to be as crazy as I want to be without anybody around me to fuck it up.
I feel like you do okay in that environment, to be honest, knowing you. Yeah, worst, I would probably go with obviously something that has a fuel source, chainsaw, flamethrower. I feel like that's cool in a video game, but like once you're out of ammo for that, it's like you're dead.
Yeah, it would be one of those things. Like if you got a hold of a chainsaw, I'd be like fucking around now. I'd be like, dude, I'm just gonna go out and use this thing real quick. You'll use it for a few times. Like, that's cool. Throw it down, go back to your normal thing.
So you mentioned you're working tirelessly on the record that Finality's putting out. Is there anything you want to plug to the good people of the internet, what you got going on right now with that band and that forthcoming album?
The hope and plan is to get the first single released before the end of the year. I'm trying to stick to that. Mixing process is about 80% done. We have revision 2 went through the band yesterday, and everybody signed off on it, which means I can go ahead and do all the rest of the songs. And as long as that's good, then it's figuring out how we're going to release it. We're going to shop it around a few places that we have some ideas for, maybe talk to some publicists and go from there. But if nothing takes shape, then we're going to go ahead and press it ourselves and get it out there.
Hell yeah, man. The little bit that I did here was phenomenal. I used that word earlier, but I mean it. I know you guys are cooking up something sweet, so look out, people. This is something you want to not sleep on. This is going to be a fucking banger for sure. Are there any songs about zombies on that new album?
Songs about zombies on the record. So let me think of Tony's lyrics here.
I'm guessing probably not, but I thought I'd ask.
I think there is. There is a pretty good track about living in the aftermath of a murder. So that's close. It could be, maybe a zombie killed the fucker. Who knows?
You got a stellar lineup on this, so I mean, you should be feeling pretty good.
I'm happy. Everybody's fucking great, and they have all busted their ass, and dealt with my neurotic ass the whole time too. So that's a fucking feat in itself.
Check out Finality at Finality Metal, Instagram, Facebook. They have a banger of an album coming out entitled Technocracy. Check them out. Great band and great group of guys. Joe, thanks for being on the stupid show. This next video is one of my all-time favorites. It's the song that got me into this band, and it's just fucking great. This is Stormlord with I Am Legend. If you could get drunk off of any beer, would you choose pumpkin beers? Probably not, right? And we're back! If you haven't figured it out by now, we are keeping the heart of Halloween beating by playing for you the gnarliest zombie-themed metal videos known to man. Hold on, the spooky phones are ringing.
Make sure to buy your Astralborne beer. It's essential.
All right, we got a Billboard charting fucking rock star joining us here.
You have to stop saying that.
Yegor, fires in the distance, everybody. Yegor Meister, happy Halloween, my dude. How the hell are you?
Happy Halloween to you, man. You got to stop bringing that up.
No, everyone must know. I do have to ask and be honest. Do they celebrate Halloween in Russia?
No.
Is there any equivalent?
Not as far as I know. I mean, I grew up there until I was 10 years old. I left in like 94. So from what I remember, that's not a thing.
No, just nothing even close. Just total lack of joy.
We had New Year's, which is our Christmas, and then the Day of Victory.
Okay.
That's pretty much
Well, that's terribly depressing. What a great way to start this thing off.
Oh, you know.
Well, in the spirit of Halloween, I want to play a little game with you, all right?
Oh, Jesus Christ.
I'm going to give you 2 iconic horror villains, and you tell me which of the 2 you think you could take in a fight, or if you think your ass is just as good as dead. Sound good?
Let's go.
All right, you ready?
Let's go.
Pennywise or Jigsaw?
Jigsaw. He's old as fuck and he's halfway dead.
Yeah, right? No contest.
No.
Chucky or Annabelle?
That's a little fucked up. I mean, Annabelle can come back to you from like the beyond. Chucky's just, he's an angry little person.
Right.
I guess Chucky.
So you're going Chucky. All right. I respect that. Chucky it is. Pinhead or Pumpkinhead?
No, Pumpkinhead, dude. Pinhead fucking terrifies me. Who doesn't Pinhead terrify?
Norman Bates or Patrick Bateman?
Norman Bates.
Dresses like an old lady.
He's got nothing. What is it? Vince Vaughn, And
we don't talk about that one, man.
Yeah. No, Norman Bates is only terrifying when he has time to plan. But if he's got nothing, you chop him off at the knees, he goes right down.
All right, let's finish this off with something classic. Dracula or the Wolfman?
It's got to be Dracula, dude, because he's eccentric. He's a little dramatic. I feel like the Wolfman would just like rip your throat out. Dracula,
though, man, he can turn into like mist and a bat and shit. Like,
where's he gonna go? The corner?
Get a broom and take his ass out.
It's like what we do in the shadows, like bat.
Yegor, it's late October. Is there anything you can divulge to the good people of the internet about the new Fires in the Distance album?
I cannot, sadly.
What? I cannot. That's bullshit. You're gonna tell me. Give us a little something, a little morsel, man, a little something.
The album is called Air Not Meant for Us. It's the one thing that I can say. It's been done for a while, and this is October. So, God, I probably shouldn't even say this. But
come on, man, give us something juicy.
We'll be hearing something new within a very few short months.
Oh wow!
But dude, it's a rough game to play. I can't really divulge much as I want to. Dude, I've been sitting on this album for a year. You know what I mean? Well, even longer than that. Like nobody is more sick of these songs than I am. I don't want to hear this album ever again. I want to fucking like just put it to rest until it finally comes out, and maybe I'll fucking listen to it. But dude, I'm so fed up with this record.
This is a terrible plug for your new album, by the way. Your band.
I know, I understand. But so this album, if I could say, was I guess, is still a much more in-depth production than the first one. It was a huge undertaking, this entire album. We recorded it in 2 different studios. We tracked the drums up here in New England, and then we recorded bass, guitars, everything else in North Carolina. It was North Carolina.
One of those states.
Yeah, one of the Carolinas. It was a ton of work, more work than I've ever put into any album. And, you know, my bass player, Craig, my singer, Christian, and Jordan, our drummer, like, they put in an incredible amount of effort to bring it to life. And it's a little scary, to be honest with you, because I don't know where I'm going to go after this.
Yeah. Does it have any songs about zombies on it?
No, I'm not a zombie guy. I don't write about zombie shit.
That's disappointing.
It is. Like Fire's lyrics, it's very, I mean, it is personal, but I try to make it as vague as possible so people can relate to it. If that makes any sense. But this upcoming album, as opposed to the first one was more about just perseverance. This one is a little bit darker. If I was to say that there was a theme to it, I think it would be coming to terms with death, and its acceptance that everything passes. The majority of the songs on this record are, like, lyrically, they're really about mortality salience, you know.
Check out the debut album from Fires in the Distance, Echoes from Deep November, out now on Prosthetic Records. Follow them on social media at Fires in the Distance, Facebook and Instagram, and at Distance Fires on Twitter. This next putrid piece is Deicide's classic Homage for Satan. So crack open a cold one for Glenn and the boys right here on the Undead Zone.
All
how Jack Owen has to follow up his guitar solo after Ralph Santola's, and it just totally sucks ass in comparison. Rest in power to the late and great Ralph Santola, everybody. All right, boys and ghouls, this has been a fun and freaky night. Thank you for joining me on this weird zombie metal countdown thing. I had a blast. I hope you did too. From me and the boys in Astralborne, we wish you a happy and heavy Halloween. I bid you all farewell, and I leave you with one final undead nail in the heavy metal coffin. This is Unfit for Human Consumption by Carcass.